Hello, welcome, and a very good evening. And tonight we're gonna touch another N64 cartridge. And last time we rebuilt the Zelda Ocarina of Time, made a whole new circuit board for it. And this time we have a Zelda Majora's Mask for the N64. And this goes for quite a lot of money, partially. But not this one. Maybe you can see this here in the corners of the sticker, and when we will open this, probably also. This thing here got damaged in the floods that we had in Germany last year. A couple of towns basically got flooded very terribly. A lot of stuff was destroyed, probably also a lot of retro consoles and games. And the guy selling this said, well, I don't know if it works anymore. I cleaned it, I opened it up, I cleaned the PCB as best as I could, but no guarantees. So I got this for like 25 euros including shipping, and normally you pay more than 50 euros for the sold cartridge. I think 70, 80 euros for the cartridge is a sensible amount to pay for this game, and that was too much for me. And I thought, well, 25 euros, it's a nice experiment, maybe it will work. Maybe we can salvage it. If push comes to shove, we can print another circuit board for it if it's necessary. But we'll see. Also, Zelda Ocarina of Time is one of only 2 games that required the expansion pack, which is a 4 megabyte RAM expansion. The N64 used the pretty rare Rambus technology. It came with 4 megabytes stock from the factory. The other game that used that was the Donkey Kong 64, or whatever it was called. It actually came with this expansion because it required it. Other games can use it, like, for example, I think Ocarina of Time can utilize it, and it will lead to maybe higher frame rates or a bit more visibility or texture quality, stuff like that. But like almost all games except for Donkey Kong and Majora's Mask can run on the 4 megabytes, but this game actually requires the expansion pack. So I got the expansion pack here as well. And what we'll do now is we will open up the cartridge, see what it looks like, and then clean it thoroughly once more, because there's still a lot of dirt here. I will use distilled water and the isopropyl alcohol here to get all the dirt off the PCB, and then we will try out both the expansion pack and the cartridge. So, this is the cartridge, and as you can see, there's still a lot of mud on there. We'll use copious amounts of distilled water, maybe with a little bit of IPA, but that should not even be necessary. I think distilled water will be good enough. There is oxidation here, because this thing was probably submerged for who knows how long in muddy water, obviously. So last time we tried running this without the shield, it didn't work, if I remember correctly. So I'm gonna try and clean off every corrosion here as good as possible with some deoxy and scrubbing. I'm not sure if I will be very successful, but yeah, I definitely want to run this with the shielding, just to be on the safe side. The question is the ROM chip here still working? And there's also one storage chip here, which uses some kind of non-volatile flash style memory, flash or EEPROM, I'm not sure. And there's also the CIC chip. This is the copy protection chip here from Nintendo. So 3 chips in total. The board is much smaller. It doesn't use a battery like Ocarina of Time, because it doesn't use the CMOS RAM, but this non-volatile RAM. Yeah, and I think I probably, if I need to replace the PCB, but I don't think I need, because the contacts here look good, I would need to order a different batch from what I had, except if these RAMs are actually compatible, drop-in replacements for the CMOS RAMs, because the CMOS RAM has the exact same number of pins, but it doesn't mean that it's pin compatible. And I didn't find any datasheet for this weird RAM chip, so I'm not quite sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and fill in some distilled water and get scrubbing. Alright, so the board, let us try and get some light here, looks now like this. I think this is already much better. There's still a slight bit of grime here and there. I also used a fiberglass pen to scrub off the corrosion on the pads here, on the gold pads, because of course the gold isn't corroded, but the metal shield touches it, and that's why we saw that there. Anyway, I think this is almost good to go. It's still a bit wet, so let's dry this off by just leaving it here. I also cleaned out the cartridge pieces. They also need to dry. Since this is distilled water, it shouldn't leave a lot of residue. I mean, there was dirt all over it. I think you can see it. It looks totally yucky. I'm gonna pour this away now, and then I'm gonna fetch something to dry this off with, and we will put some deoxy on the metal shielding and wipe it down with the fiberglass pen, and then see if that works. So everything is cleaned. I removed the corrosion with the fiberglass pen, which already is a wee bit shorter than it was before. And also I used this deoxy spray, the contact and tuner spray, which basically helps remove this kind of stuff as well. There is still a little bit of corrosion here in the corners, but I'm not gonna spend much more time on removing that, maybe later. Let's first see if this thing works at all, because if not, then we need to think about some plan B anyway. And yeah, let's put that thing back together and get it over to the N64. Okay, finally got it in. It's important to put in the black spacer here, or dust cover, whatever you call it, in the right way, otherwise it won't fit. So definitely we got a lot of dirt out of this thing. The question will be, will it work? If the ROM is working and the CSC, we should at least see something. But if those two work, I think there won't be any problems. Oh, that's probably not the best idea that I'm doing here. If both of these chips are working, the safe RAM will probably also work, I guess. But if any of those are broken, we're probably not gonna see anything. But that remains to be seen. I might also spray just some deoxy in there for good measure, to make sure everything is well lubricated and no oxidation is happening, at least not in the short term. But first, let's just try it as it is. A little bit of water here still, 1 or 2 droplets. Distilled water is actually not bad or harmful to electronics. I mean, having powered on stuff is of course not the best idea with water and stuff, but distilled water doesn't leave any residue, it dries off pretty quickly, and it is not that corrosive actually, especially not if you're cleaning it off afterwards and drying it properly. If it stays in one place too long, yeah, maybe then you get some corrosion. But I think mostly salts and other stuff in the water will destroy the metals. And here it is. So let's carry it over to the N64, and let's first install the memory expansion with this little tool here and see if this thing works. And if it works, we should also see if Majora's Mask works. Okay, so the N64 has this little cover on the top, and right now there is the so-called jumper pack in here, which is a kind of bus terminator. It's basically a resistor array that has to be in there, and I think you can pull it out something like this, and it's just it looks similar to the expansion pack, but it's basically just resistors that terminate the RAM bus. And yeah, I think this thing here comes in just like that, popping the cover back on, and then we can first of all see if Zelda Ocarina of Time still works. Let's try that. And yes, indeed, as you can see here, it still works, and which means we can actually plug in the other cartridge, the Majora's Mask cartridge, and check if it also works. Okay, so let's take out the Ocarina of Time and plug in Majora's Mask. And shall we turn it on? Oh, we have Majora's Mask! Who would have thought? The muddy cartridge lives again. So this looks actually pretty promising. Never seen Majora's Mask before, but I think if we see this much, then it should be fine. Okay, very cool indeed. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play Majora's Mask now a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this video. One more cartridge saved from the floods. And yeah, finally I get to play Majora's Mask as well. I haven't even finished Ocarina of Time. We're still in the middle of it, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So I think Majora's Mask will be probably at least as good as Ocarina of Time. Leave your opinions in the comments. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and come again. And see you in the next video. Bye.